Hey everybody, welcome to a Wednesday afternoon edition of Keith's Beer Reviews. This is, I tell you, this day, on a scale of 1 to 10, this would be about a 15. It's mid-60s right now. I think it might be close to 70 for the end of the day, possibly setting some record highs for this time of year. Beautiful, beautiful day in mid-late November, so I'm going to do one that been sitting in my fridge for a while. It's another one of those Schlafly brews, one of their big brews. This is a season or a year-round beer. I'm going to do their Biere de Garde. A little bit from the website. It says our Biere de Garde invokes the tradition of the farmhouse ales of northern France, renowned for their subtle aromas of apricot and allspice. 4 different types of malt create a toffee sweetness, while French Strisselspalt hops add a subtle spice flavor. The beer is finished with a distinct French farmhouse ale strain and bottle conditioned with extra sugar and yeast for at least 2 weeks. Biere de Garde translate to beer which has been kept or stored. This traditional artisan farmhouse ale from northern France was brewed in early spring and stored in cold cellars for consumption in warmer months. Well, this isn't a warmer month, but today is, so I'm going to do it right now. I still got one of their barley wines, one of their big bottles of barley wine left. I'll save that for colder weather. This weather's supposed to disappear in 2 days. We're supposed to have highs in the 60s or in the 30s in 2 days. So, guess better enjoy it while it can. It says, while related to its spicier tarter Belgian cousin Saison, Biere de Garde is a richer, sweeter beer. They say serve at 40 to 45. This has been out of the fridge for, I don't know, half an hour or so. Had it in the cooler, but it's probably about that degrees. It comes in at 7% ABV, 40 IBUs. It says processed, traditional French farmhouse style artisanal ale, bottle condition. Hops are Strisselspalt, French, and Marienka. It says PL. I'm not sure what that means. It says malts, 2-row malted barley, Munich malt, Caribbean, and biscuit malt. And it says yeast, French farmhouse ale. So, without any further ado, let's get this in the glass and see what we have. Just a plain orange cap, nothing special. Being bottle condition, I probably will not get to the bottom of this before the end of this review, but I will try to stir it up a little bit and get some of that yeast in there. They say not to, but they say that on a lot. We got a nice, it's still nice and hazy, nice orange color. Seems to be a moderate amount of carbonation streaming up. Got a finger of a really, really fluffy white head. There's no off-white or anything on that. Something tells me it's not going to stick around. There's mostly small bubbles, but there's some big bubbles in there. But this is pretty darn good, looking good for a Biere de Garde. So let me get a nose on this. Okay, you get those earthy notes right up away. It's not really nearly what I'd call funk or barnyard smell, but some nice earthy notes. There's a slight orange fruit smell, some light pepper, just a light note of that funkiness, but it's not really a big and bold nose, but what's there is nice and light and a little grainy, but fruit smells, there's some fruit smells in there from sweet to tangy. Little green apple, pear, some grassy hops, sweet grains, touch of lemon. Good looking beer, good smelling beer. It's just not real strong. As I noted earlier, that I didn't think the head was going to stick around. It's gone to just a light ring around the edge now, maybe just a little bit in the center. Not a ton of carbonation. Carbonation has died down considerably right away, so let me give this a taste. Okay, we got a nice tart flavor. is the dominant part of your initial taste. There's a slight mustiness, but not really that what you call that barnyard smell. You get those big earthy yeasty notes start off, followed by some notes of like orange peel, some hop bitterness, mostly through the finish, I think. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had a train come through. As of midnight Monday, this town is now officially a quiet zone. There's not supposed to be any train horns. I did hear one off in the distance, but they no longer blow their horns coming through town, so I don't know how that's going to work out, but at least where I'm living, it's not too bad. I've heard a couple. They probably didn't get, of course, they've got engineers probably from all over the country, but they don't, I haven't heard any really, other than a couple times for the last couple days, and they just come through quietly, other than that rumble, which you would have heard in the background, so that's why I shut the camera off. But anyway, like I said, this starts off with that big, earthy, slightly musty, not quite barnyard smell notes there right in the beginning. Then you get the orange peel, a little more pepper, some tart fruitiness, what little hop bitterness there is comes through at the end. But this is mostly a sweet beer, that's for sure. There are some fruits in there. There's a little peach, a little pear, little white pepper, kind of a dry, toasty malt. It's a medium, moderately light in body, almost watery, but not quite. It's a combination of lightness and smoothness at the same time. Don't notice that 7% ABV at all. So let me let this warm up a bit. I'm going to swirl this up, add a little more, get some yeast, and be back after a while with the final thoughts and grade. Okay, I'm back. It's been 20 minutes or so. Like I said, I swirled this up, added some yeast. This definitely got a lot cloudier. You got a really, really cloudy, hazy orange thing. There's a lot of chunks floating around in this now. There's definitely a lot of yeast down the bottom of this bottle. As I've noticed, as I added the yeast, there's like a spiced apple and black pepper flavor that came through. On the taste, I don't really get it on the nose so much, but it really came through on the taste. I'm getting a lot more of that fruitiness on the nose now, and less of that, like I said, funkiness, but not really barnyard type funkiness. There's a funk there, but it's not that barnyard smell that you expect from Saisons and Biere de Gardes. But darn good beer, and like they said, it's definitely sweeter than I still think I prefer the Saison style to the Biere de Garde, but because they are slightly tarter. But this is definitely a sweet beer, that's for sure. Although it does finish slightly on the sour side, but overall it's just sweet and fruity, and got a really nice balance from the grassy hops, and you get that peach and that pear taste in there, the white pepper. Now, like I said, now that I've added the yeast, I'm getting a black pepper taste too, and some kind of like a spiced apple in there. It's really, really good. The mouthfeel hasn't changed much with the addition of the yeast, but it's still fairly light body. But the carbonation has really dropped considerably, and it feels almost like a medium mouthfeel with lower carbonation. Overall, I'd say this is a damn good beer. Great flavors, moderate alcohol, 7%. It's not that big. So this could be a dangerous beer though at 7%. Really easy to drink. I've got my cap on it. But I'm going to give the Schlafly Biere de Garde, I'm going to give it a good solid 9 out of 10. This is a really nice American take on a French style of beer. I wish I could get it locally. They get the regular Schlafly beers here, but they never get any of these bigger bottles. They get such a limited amount, they overprice them, and they don't sell real well, so they don't stock them. But darn good beer. So 9 out of 10 for the Schlafly Biere de Garde. Till next time, everybody. Cheers. Let's keep drinking good beers. And I want to thank all my subscribers. I just hit 620. I thought I'd never do that. So I get 2 or 3 subscribers a day. It used to be 2 or 3 a week. So getting 2 or 3 a day. And I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate all the views and all the comments. And I'm sometimes kind of slow responding. But, you know, I have a life outside of beer reviews too, so when I get back, I respond when I can, and I really appreciate all the comments and all the suggestions and everything else. I've been suggested several beers that I haven't been able to find, but I'll try to get them and try to review them for you, since you asked. But this has been a good ride so far. I really appreciate it. So cheers again, everybody. Cheers to all my subscribers. Some of you guys respond all the time. I really, really appreciate that. And it's like I've almost gotten to get to know you as friends or people I know. So I really appreciate it. So cheers to everybody. Like I always say, let's keep drinking good beers.